Welcome back, people. The rig's back on the screen, hopefully an easier grab than last time. So we got the news coming out today of BitMEX. Apparently, in regards to the whole thing, they got sued for running a desk that hunted its own customers. Now, yeah, we know it's gonna happen. We're now seeing exchanges being hunted down for operating such events. So we've got catalyst and reason, in my opinion, for our next move, which kind of ties in with what I was discussing last week. For me, not overly negative, I'm not too fussed about it, don't really care. It just gives us a narrative and a premise to work off. Now, at the moment with BTC, we're looking like we're going to be closing as a bearish SFP on the week. So setting up for me, if this closes, which I imagine it's going to do, I don't see us doing a 1000k jump in the next 3 hours. Not on the cards. Can happen potentially, but since some nice P8 at the minute, given the news that we've got, like I said, we've got the premise to see the next move going for that sell side liquidity. Now, in the last video, I did discuss that we could potentially be forming a swing low. Now, that could still be on the cards. For me, my idea of this coming for the lows sub 60k, that's what I would personally and preferably like to see. Now, given the fact that obviously with the close coming up in the next few hours, if we do get a close bearish SFP on the weekly, that's immediately drawing to me. Now I'm going to be looking at price is going to want to target sell side liquidity residing at them 60k lows, which we discussed in the last video. Underneath that is that daily OB where this whole move navigated from. Now, with that in context, what I like about this move, and one of the reasons why I want this to play out more, is the fact that we haven't taken out the 67k high. We've failed to break away from that. We've started to form a swing low. Technically, we've not, with structure breaks like we did discuss in the video, when a candle breaks a swing low, now the swing low of this daily candle here was technically broken here. It wasn't really with any conviction, we just had a slight wick below. SFP did form, but we had no strength. It was towards the end of playing going into the weekend. We've not really done much in regards to any upside movement from this run. So I'm seeing this failed run on the high at 67k and this pullback as an initial sign of the market's going to go further and deeper into this current range that we've got here. Now, the full range that I'm playing in all this is from the low of 57 up to that high of 67k. We are inside that range. So what I am looking for and what I'm going to plan for the week is not that this is going to bounce from here, although if I see a signal I will play suit. My main idea going forward is potentially going to see OTE retracement going into the week. Now, we have got this week, we've got federal fund rates, we've got FOMC coming on Wednesday, late New York, and then going into Thursday's New York session open, again we've got advanced GDP and core PCE price index. So later on in the week we have got this volatile news events, could tie in with opposite end of the range rally potentially forming. Again, I'm talking hypothetical here. This I'm just doing a plan. Now I'm getting text messages while I'm doing this. Fuck off. But this is what I'm looking at. This is going to be my anticipation for the week and what I'm looking for. I'm going to use time of the week as a premise, given the fact that we've got new high impact news coming in on late New York on Wednesday. what I'm going to be looking for is a retracement up to at least 50%, potentially a little bit deeper, getting closer to that 66. And inside this range, I am going to look for a lower time frame trigger, H4, H1. I'm using H4 now just for a bit more of a visual. As you can see, these breakdowns that have occurred 2 hours a bit. No, it's H1, isn't it? As I've mentioned here, kind of when we dip with a low, very shallow run, over here you could see that on Tuesday when price rallied, while we were running all the buy side liquidity over from this range here, we failed to get above the high, but we were above the main range internal highs. Once price broke down, we had a shallow wick below this. Now this is initial indication of signs of weakness in price, although it's not a full conviction play for me. It's not ideally what I want to see. Nevertheless, don't necessarily have to trade it. But what occurred afterwards is where I would get in line with the market. So here you can see OTE retracement going into late New York. As you can see, it's at 9 p.m. Then price broke down going into the late of the session. Now this, at this point here, this is where I'm looking at the market and thinking that is a sign and that is a trigger for me to want to get in line with the market. So when I'm drawing the what am I doing down there? I've got my magnet on there. Still technically rusty at this. I will get better. Get that off. So as you can see here, we've got that shallow swing high, we've formed a low, rallied above. We had a shallow run on this swing low, then we got that OT retracement of this price run here. Did some chopping about, but I'm not overly interested in the chopping about. Then we got an aggressive move down, which left that fair value gap, which for me is added confluence for the trade and for the trade idea to start playing out going forward. So this is what I'm looking for. Not all the time will it look as clean as that and we get a retracement and then we go. Sometimes it will, sometimes it doesn't. Over here you can see on the H1 it did play out, but these moves are a lot harder to get into, and it's more of an anticipation. As you can see, we got no pullback into this H1 move. Price, once it rallied above and closed below, once we broke below the swing low, we just aggressively moved away because price wanted to target that daily level of the sell side liquidity over here. So given this context, this is going to be something similar to what I'm looking at now. If we can rally up to the 50%, we're going to get inside the H1 level that I mentioned before. There is potential that we could rally up inside this breaker over here, and I'm going to anticipate that we're going to form a high. Now I'm not just going to act on anticipation. I am going to be looking for signals like I'm showing you over here, the aggressive price action going down, or some kind of run on a high, SFP close below, and then once we get below the low, then we can add to that position going forward. But my premise is we're going to form a high going into the week. I am not one for being confident in late trading, also weekend PA low holding. That's most often than not when we see a rallies from these levels going into the trading week and the trading sessions, we see these levels violated going forward. So this is my plan. This is what I'm going to go with. If it changes going forward, if I totally missed a short, it doesn't matter. Sit on my hands and be patient. The main idea and the main objective is getting down towards these lows. Once we get down towards 60k, then I can start looking for them same triggers that I'm talking about up here. I'm going to be looking for them down there. You can enter blindly because we've got the higher time frame shift. To get the risk reward down to something more realistic rather than just bidding here and having what, like a 5-6%, I imagine, yeah, 5% stop loss I want to get as close to 1-2% as possible. So if I can't, reducing the sizing will then affect the gain on the trade going forward. So I want to get down to these levels, get as close as possible to the bottom. If we can get in and around the 50%, the concentrate encroachment, 59,700 around here will do nicely. Form some kind of structure, clean as a whistle would do. Wouldn't matter to me if we formed a high or low, then we shifted. Once we shift and show that aggressive move away from an old low through a swing high, this is just the same as having some clean PA like this. It can be a little bit choppy, I don't really care too much. Once we get that per this move, whether it's the breaker or the OB with a fair value gap, then I can get in line, then we can go from there. Now if all this does play out, which would be fucking super nice, I'm just going to mark this whole area in a fucking big orange box. This is my anticipation level for the short. If we do get above this, as I mentioned in the last video, I'm looking, not only have we got the premise to get above 67k, but I personally feel getting into the late 70s is a very big possibility. Got an FVG breaker from the original rejection from that 80k level, so up here is a level I'm anticipating. I don't think this is an area to get overly excited about. It's going to be an area I'm certainly going to be watching for shorts. At the minute we're trading a very small range, so the price moves between them are going to be a lot smaller, but once we get out of the ranges, then the expansion could start. We're in very small, minute trading elements at the moment. Once we get out of these ranges, the next move is going to be more aggressive, which is why I feel that these levels can be reached. Now if we move out of 67k and we show conviction, we show aggressive moves, and we have PA form that suits for me, then we could potentially look that as the bottom is in. At the minute I'm still on the fence with that. I've not seen nowhere near enough at the minute. We've not even broke above the swing high. We could fail to break the swing high, we could run right the way through my level of anticipation for the longs, and we could go for that 49k low. Who knows, we don't know. At the minute everything's playing out, it looks clean. We've got a narrative for price to go down. We've also got a narrative for these market makers and other exchanges to go and target people's stop losses, because everyone's going to be piling into the short. So this is why I feel if this grinds up slowly, gets that early high in Monday, Tuesday, or even goes into Wednesday, then we drop over. The market makers might allow people to get in line, keep stopping them out, because people's got the shorts above the previous day's high. Ideally we want to be getting as close as this high as possible, because this is where your invalidation is, in my opinion, and then we can go from there. But in a minute, like I said, I'm looking for an OT retracement, breakdown in price once more, get down to the lows, and then from there we can look to go long. I'm personally liking the look of it. The move's clean, it's not been tested yet. We've had choppiness, account wrecking PA for the whole of July, but we're moving up, so we should all be happy, we should all be content. Bags have been going up. These low ball bids that we've been dropping in on spot all should be playing out nicely. That being said, ETH, what have you been doing? ETH's actually holding up a lot better, but does feel like the moving ETH BTC at the minute, it's inside the same level it's been for months. It's not really moved. Sorry for just dropping in and shifting that. If we go to the 3 month, keep this as high a time frame as possible. we took out liquidity way back in April, right? We rallied above, we showed a inversion which we've been retesting for what seems like a fucking eternity. It's just been going down and down and down. Sentiment's been pretty shit, is what it is. All you can do is either you give up or you keep on going in the trenches and keep doing your shit. That's all you can do. Obviously we're still navigating towards this going a lot higher, but we've still not broke it. The bodies at the minute are respecting it. Yes, we have wick below, but we have closed above each time. This current candle at the minute is going for attacking this swing high now. If we can get some kind of change in structure and change in sentiment, then ETH chart's going to start looking a lot better. I have got a lot higher prices for ETH at the minute. Certainly if BTC does go for the high end of the 70s, I think ETH BTC is going to really start to pop off. Everyone who's shitting on it in a minute, I think is just going to get absolutely left behind. It's been one to watch. It's the one that you want to, in my opinion, the one that's going to move a lot very aggressively going into the latest stages of the next bull run, whenever that comes. But as I said, at the minute we're holding the inversion, we're rallying above. Pretty much what I was showing you before. Clean structure. We've took out the swing low, so this is internal range liquidity. We're inside a level of support, so we're watching two confluences play out there. We're rallying above. Remember, this is on a monthly, so this could take time. This could go into the next month, but if we can break this high in an aggressive fashion, forming fair value gap from in and around the 50%, it doesn't actually matter, but this is from a personal perspective, in and around that 50% level, and get above that 0.0318 level, then we have a change in sentiment, change in the state delivery, shift in market structure, all that shit. We have got that, and then that would give me the extra confirmation as bottoms potentially in. ETH's going to start outperforming to a degree for a period of time. I'm not talking for the longevity here, I'm just talking for a period of time. But ETH could start moving aggressively. ETH USD pair is going to start seeing the price action to suit. So at the minute we're still waiting. Formed quite nicely. As long as we don't get any heavy rejections, I'm anticipating that this is just going to continue this onto the ETH USD chart. Pretty shit at the minute. Kind of similar sort of PA. We took out internal range of liquidity. We're forming a low. People will say yes, we're holding this trend line. I don't really use trend lines. For me, ideally, I would have preferred a run on that swing low. We've not seen it. Could be a sign of strength that we formed a higher low rather than a lower low. Going into the weekly, as you can see, we've moved up. The initial candle was more aggressive than the rest. The rest have been fairly choppy. We seem to be reclaiming this imbalance over here. Now that is another sign of strength for me. We've rallied through it. Each time we've rejected, once we've bounced off that 50% level on the initial move here, not this downward move, each candle's just broke through and we've had some form of consolidated PA, as you can see here, going into that imbalance. Now this, in my opinion, is a reclaim of the range. It is very bullish for me. I don't see anything overly bearish about this. Don't see any reason why I should be thinking that price goes lower based off these facts. Let's just get rid of this shit. No, keep it on the hours, take it off the weekly. My head was all over the place then. Where are we at? What are we on? 90 fucking hell. These videos are getting longer by the day. But based off that, as I've just said, if we get that fib back up on the imbalance again, actually, it's just doing a different fib. Why has it done that? I didn't even change it. So I'm using this similar how I would use. So if I was looking at an OB, I'd be marking up the OB from body to body and then looking at 50%, as I've just showed you with BTC, as a level I'd be looking for to see a bounce from and some kind of reversal. What I'm looking at here at the minute with ETH is this. Once we've broke this high, so again, this is relatively clean apart from we've got that higher low form. Didn't have a run below. Some exchanges might be slightly different, but we got a run above that swing high, which would change the state of delivery. Market structures broke. We're inside that imbalance where we've had this consolidated PA, but we've seen a FVG form. Now, if we can get inside this, when I say when and if BTC goes for them 60k lows, this is going to be a level where we could anticipate a bounce from, in my opinion. As long as the ETH BTC pair holds up and it doesn't reject while BTC is rejecting, then there's nothing to say that we could get low ball bids in and under the $1,900. Obviously spot bids are fine. If you're talking about leverage, this is where you need some kind of edge where you're looking for lower time frame triggers. A bit of spot buying here and there's, in my opinion, okay. Obviously do it at your own accord. You could wait for an SFP, you could wait for price to do something like that, close above on a higher time frame, then get in line with another bit. That is so fucking sloppy, that's untrue. You know what I'm saying. Can we draw it? Do you reckon we can draw it? Come in, nice. Do something like that and then bid there, and you can get in like that. Fucking shocking. You know what I'm trying to do. Take out the swing low, looking close above, wait for price to close above, do not act before, then you could use that low that runs this weekly candle as your level for your invalidation. You don't have to buy at the fair value. You could use that as your model. You could do whatever you wanted. For me, I'd be looking for PA to come down in there. H1, H4 trigger for the shorts. Simple as that. Once you get inside that level, all this consolidation around here. At the end of the day, we could go a lot deeper. Again, it depends on what price is going to do. At the minute, I think we're in certainly a deeper range for the shorts. Again, I'm not acting at the minute. I want to see a candle close. This is certainly showing OTE characteristics. I said that very well. I don't know why it's changed my fib. Rusted 2027. We're above 50%, getting into the sweet and juicy spot of the range. I've got a lot of shit on my chart now. I don't like it. What's this one? Get rid of that. But yeah, he's looking good. That's going to be my first level of anticipation. Again, depending on what BTC does. That fails and we do start navigating lower, then we could either go deeper into the OB here, which we initially bounced off, or we could go for deeper liquidity, maybe go sub 1600 and rebalance over down here. Gotta have levels of anticipation. We can't just go off one. This is what I'm looking at the minute. I'm not overly fussed about jumping the gun on this one. I think spot buys are clean. Chart looks pretty clean. In my opinion, this is the final leg of the market maker buy model that's formed here. We've got the original consolidation, smart money reversal, and the stage 3 and stage 4. So that looks clean. Were the final higher low forms. As long as you've got your levels, as long as you anticipate and you stay with your conviction, you should get there. But yeah, that looks like kind of similar to what I'm looking at in BTC. Dixie's looking relatively strong. FOMC and fund rate coming from the Fed. We've broke out of the consolidated range, not yet got into the imbalance over there, so there is potential for a little bit higher. Potentially we go for the kind of ties in with 50%, the 102,800 level. This is on a monthly, right? So we've got to close next 5 days. I was going to jump into this fair value gap over here, but based on the fact that we've got another 5 days of trading for the monthly closes, I think you're more than likely going to anticipate that we're going to get above this high and form some kind of swing high in here. Don't expect this to start going moon shooting going into the end of the month, but from there I expect another further retest of this. But this has been a little bit choppy, similar to what we've had with the rest of the market. Seems to have a consolidating range and an aggressive move, so this kind of feels like the opposite to what we've got here. We seem to have a consolidated move. We're breaking outside of the range and then kind of anticipating this to go a lot lower and start attacking the lows over here. But again, this is, we're talking about the longevity of the market here. I'm looking at a bottom forming in crypto and us seeing a retracement on the dollar index, so you can see where my correlation is. It's not just the one that's picked out of a fucking fruit basket. I'm looking at the two. Dollar's looking to form a low high, in my opinion, while crypto's looking like we're forming a bottom. Whether it's in or not, I think we're very close. Even if it's going towards the end of the year, it doesn't matter for me. We're getting there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I want to try and keep these videos short for now, nearly in the 30-minute range. I want to try and get the views up so we can do a bit more shit. But everything's looking clean. Quick recap, so I'm anticipating high the week forming inside this range and then us going attacking the lows of 60k. That is what I'm anticipating. Could we bounce here? Yes, who knows. I'll try and keep everyone updated on X. ETH kind of similar, looking like we're doing that OTE retracement already. When we go down to the higher time frames on the weekly, we've got the fair value gap that formed at the structure shift over here at 1850. We'll just round that up. My first level of anticipation for a bounce, if BTC does go towards them 60k lows and the ETH BTC pair doesn't hold up, then yes, we can come a lot deeper. We don't need to act on just jump and start fucking putting bids in, because we're going to be worrying about missing the trade. There's always going to be a trade there we can buy. We're talking about these going to all-time highs eventually, potentially in the next couple of years. So bidding at 1800 when all-time highs at around 4.5k, longevity doesn't matter. But anyway, another video boxed off, a little bit less rusty. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, please, and share. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.